Hi, I'm Lois Beres at KZGN-TV, and this is RIdgecrest Talk. And today I have the privilege of talking with Ed Middlemess
Yes.
and Gloria Longo, who are board of directors or directors of IWVTV Booster Group. And they have some fantastic information for you, so hang on with us because you're going to get to hear all of this. First of all, we've had them before, but I want to reiterate some of the things about them personally. You've been here a long time. Now, which one of you got here first?
I did.
You did? Okay.
June the 26th, 1968.
That's a couple years ago.
And RIdgecrest was about this big
Yeah?
at that time.
Did you have any stoplights or anything?
There was a blinking red light at the heart of town, and everyone was very, very mannerly. We had very few. I think that may have been the first traffic light.
Probably
When it
like,
morphed into a traffic light.
oh, for heaven's sake. And was same thing when you got here?
June 15th, 1971.
Oh,
and
wow.
it was still the flashing
Yes.
red light at
So it lasted
Ridgecrest
for a
and
while.
China Lake Boulevard.
When I came here some years back, 27 years back, there was one stoplight. I got this beautiful brochure from the base. Welcome aboard and all this green grass and everything. And we came to town and we're looking for the town and we missed it.
China Lake.
Yeah,
and
got to the
Mirror
main
Lake.
gate. We went in. It was 113, and it was quite an experience. But ever since then, I've loved it. It's been it's a great place to live. So how did you guys get involved with TV Booster?
Well, TV Booster. I ran the appliance and electronics store in town. And so it was natural, I felt, for me to sell to using customers the equipment that they would need that would work on TV Booster.
So they came to the valley, brought their own TVs.
There was no cable.
No cable,
There was no
nothing.
satellite. And TV Booster was it.
Wow.
So we sold all the paraphernalia that you would need to install an antenna and run the wire and do what you needed to do to be able to pick up what were at that time about maybe 8 channels
That many, huh?
of what was on TV Booster. And of course it was all analog in those days. And it was the best that we could do at that time. We've come a long way.
You certainly have, right? How many, just off the top of your head, how many stations can you get now? Do you know?
Well, we have 14 stations, which means 14 transmitters,
Oh, wow.
but they carry 34 channels.
Oh, that's
because
remarkable.
digital stations are multi-channel now.
Yeah, because when I got here, I think there were like 8 or 9, maybe. We were surprised. And Randy got some sort of an antenna because he lived over in those, it was like a geographic bachelor. Because I was going to stay in LA because we were only going to be here 18 months.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah, they all
So-
lied to us that way, didn't they?
I think we did it to ourselves too, but we didn't realize what a cool place this is to be. There's some really good stuff here. There's some not so cool stuff, but most of it's good. And then you got started with Booster. How did you get hooked up with Booster?
Well, I was just getting used to having a TV before I moved up here, and was tuning into Elizabeth Regina, one of the first Masterpiece Theater programs.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It was
PBS.
preceded PBS.
Yeah, it was.
It preceded by Upstairs Downstairs.
Ah,
but
yes.
I didn't have a TV
You didn't
in
get
time
there
to
at that
see
point.
that.
Okay. And you were working on
And
base?
So, yeah, I hired
Okay.
on to the base, and I came up here, and I heard that people had
It's some real TVs.
it on the air, the PBS on the air here, and
Oh.
so I put up an antenna and got a pretty fuzzy picture. I didn't know what I was doing. I just put it
You
up.
could hear it, but you couldn't necessarily see it? Or
Correct. Yeah, the sound is analog TV is stronger than the picture, and back in those days, people talked about, well, you can count the fingers on somebody's hand. That's about it.
That's not a great TV experience.
But it was better than no TV.
Certainly.
Yeah.
That certainly would
and
be.
we morphed from then.
Oh, that's remarkable that you got
probably
to
10,
this.
12, no more than 15 years, we have another generational jump as we had to have. What year did we go digital, Edward?
We started playing with it because the signals were available from Los Angeles in the early 2000s. And I think '06 is when the
Yeah, because we all, even if we had our
shift
own
was
old
made.
TVs at home, you couldn't get, when they went digital, everything
That's
went, correct?
Well, right. Of course, we knew
Okay.
that set-top boxes were available, and actually we used some to drive our first test transmissions.
It's amazing to me how you'd come into the valley, and first of all, it's a little frightening when you first get here anyway, as after having been in the big cities. And then you can't even turn on your TV. You can, but it doesn't get you anything. Like you said, maybe count their fingers. And now you can watch it.
And radio.
And then you could too.
And radio, we have expanded dramatically the radio offerings
yes.
that we have.
So tell me how it started. I mean, you started selling TVs and stuff.
Well, how we got started in it, or how the roots,
Yeah.
because it was going,
roots
it was
and
a
stuff
going
of it.
concern when we got involved.
Right,
it was.
since
Oh.
Yeah.
1954, due to the efforts of some dedicated China Lake employees who decided that there had to be some way to get some television signal into the valley. And they worked on it, and I understand the CBs were very involved. There were a number of devoted China Lake employees who gave much of their free time to working on the signal, improving the signal, and making it as good as it could be. It really didn't take that jump until we were able to obtain the location where we are now, which allows us from Laurel Mountain to look down into the Los Angeles Valley.
It goes that way and then it comes over here.
Right.
Well,
And some of it is satellite.
comes across the St. Gabriel Mountains from Mount Wilson,
Right.
and Laurel Mountain was the first place they tried, really.
That's correct.
And it
because
worked.
it was accessible
Oh, that's
Yes.
great.
and was high enough that it got a usable signal from Los Angeles.
And your group has always been volunteer then?
Always.
That's amazing.
Every part
Okay,
of it.
we're just about to go to a break. We're going to get into this a little bit more about, I think it's remarkable that you guys did this as a volunteer situation and it's still going.
Still going.
That's awesome. Okay, we're going to be gone for about 2 minutes and we'll be back and we'll talk a little bit more about IWV TV Booster. And we're back. We're back with Gloria and Edward, and they're telling us about RIdgecrest TV Booster. And it's IWV TV Boosters, not RIdgecrest. And they're going to tell us a little bit more about where they're going and how they got there. So what would be the next step from where we were before? You had just decided to get people with TVs and get some reception, and then where did we go?
Well, our main mission, of course, is to broadcast over-the-air free TV signals.
Okay, free. Now, this is not cable or anything. It's a signal that comes into the valley.
Yeah, it's like being in a big city where you just put up an antenna and pull in signals that are already there. And that's our main mission. We also have some FM signals, so that
That's
when you're
neat.
driving
You can get your
around
radio,
in
too.
your car, you have something available that's
Do you just
niche.
access that on the?
it's FM radio dial, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We have eight translators.
Oh, right. And that's up there on the mountain with the rest
Same
of your
place.
stuff?
Mhm,
Okay. Now, that stuff didn't come cheap. So, you got donations, or how did you do
Correct.
that?
Oh my goodness, do we?
Okay.
We try to make ourselves as available as a group at community gatherings such as we were just at the Home and Leisure Show. Our
Okay.
objective is to spread as much information as possible. Two things always amaze me. The first thing is people will say, "Oh my goodness, are you still there?" Well, yes, we are. And the second thing people will say is, "Never heard of it before." They thought
That's
they had
true.
to have either cable or satellite to pick up any television at all. So information is the main thing that we like to put forth. We have a newsletter which Edward updates every year, and the reason we're at the booth is to put a face to the name.
It's a good
If you
idea.
wonder,
Yeah.
if
And
you
to demonstrate our signals at the
That's
booth
right.
so that
So
people...
you've got a TV there, and you can say, "This is what
Exactly.
you'll get."
and an antenna that we put
that's
outside on an
great.
itty bitty little tripod. So worst case scenario, and the signal is always terrific. And of course, we know
It's
where our
digital.
bread and butter is
Oh,
from.
okay.
We always have a sports game on, either football
Huh.
or basketball or baseball, which automatically makes men
So people
stop.
are going to watch. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
Or they'll
true.
always say, "What's the score? What's the score?"
Yeah.
And then we have an opportunity to
talk with them.
disseminate information.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because cable is really getting expensive, and young families or even us old families don't have all that extra funding anymore. So you guys have put this together. Do you accept new volunteers? How do you?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We are one short on the board. We have 9 positions, but only 8 are filled right now.
Oh, okay.
We meet the first Monday of every month, except if that is a holiday, and then we meet the second Monday. Our meetings are open to the public. Very seldom do we have a closed session if there is something that might be radical that we need to discuss that we might not want to get out into the public. Very, very,
Something
very rare.
new or something that you're not ready to
Right.
put out there.
But the rest of the
Okay.
time,
And where do you meet?
Carol Vaughn has graciously lent us her meeting room.
Her conference
at,
room.
Vaughn Realty,
At her
which
company.
is
Okay.
near the old shopping
Albertsons.
bag, Albertsons.
There you go.
yes.
You got it.
Then it was
Okay.
Fazio's, yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Oh,
meet.
well, that's
we
good.
meet at 5 o'clock the first Monday of every month, and the public is invited.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone is new to the valley or has time on their hands and feels that they either want to serve as a board member, we have a number of officer positions that are available that we'd be happy to discuss with
If you
anyone
want a
who is
position,
interested.
they'll get you one.
That's right. And
if
the
you
next
want to serve and it's a great service to your community, then
Terrific.
you need to talk with these people.
Terrific. So you
Yeah.
can next expect to find us at Santa's Art Shop.
Okay.
Santa's Art Shop has always been a watershed for us because we've been there for so long, since the Middlemess family ran Santa's Art Shop so many years ago, and were kind enough to give us a space to be. It has come to the point where people make us part of their route
Isn't that neat?
as part of their
Because they
donation
expect
route.
you to be there.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And we always have our newest updated boostergram at that time, which Edward has going. And of course, there are those of us who do not mind at all asking for a donation, because this is how we exist.
That's true. And they're doing a service for our community, and a few bucks helps them a lot. You've got to have a lot of equipment up there on that mountain.
Oh, yes.
Oh, mercy.
And
Yeah.
you got it mostly donations.
Well, it's entirely funded by donations.
Okay, entirely, not mostly.
Since the original equipment was provided by the Navy, and the TV booster was the first occupant of that mountaintop.
Even predating
And
China
the
Lake.
cinder block
Really?
buildings were built by the Seabees. And
Because they knew that something like that needed to be available to their employees, or
well, in the 50s, the base had an employee retention
Initiative, I think.
effort.
okay.
The old timers would tell us about what they called termination winds.
Yeah.
Now, it was a big construction site in the late 40s, early 50s. And when the wind blows, if you've been around construction sites here in the desert, you'll notice that the stuff gets up in the air. And if you have your car parked downwind from a construction site, you can come back and find it's nice, shiny new metal with the paint stripped off.
Right.
And it gets
And
sandblasted.
a little bit more.
And that's what they meant by termination winds.
I get
And
it. Okay.
Some people would
Okay.
just say, I've got my Friday pay.
See ya.
Maybe I'll be
Out of here
back.
for the weekend,
Maybe
yeah.
I'll be back on Monday, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's why I thought you were saying with termination, because they might just be out of here.
Yeah.
You know, but
Exactly.
that's
yeah,
cool.
it's
But
it's
enough
sort
of them
of a
stuck around
voluntary
that you got a
termination.
building built or a functioning place up there some
Right.
way. And is it inside a building or?
Yes, we're
Okay.
inside a cinder block building that's 12 foot wide by 40 feet long.
Oh wow! Oh, that's
And
a
we
good deal.
have scaffolding on the outside, transmitter side, facing Ridgecrest and
Lots
the
of
receiver side
antennas.
facing Mount Wilson.
Because we do need to acquire the signal at the southern end of the mountain. And that's our receiving antennae. And we transport the signal to this side of Laurel Mountain where we shower the signal down into the valley. And we have one satellite dish or more than one satellite dish?
Oh, we have more than one satellite dish.
One, of course, is the most important for me. And
Hold
that's
that thought. We're going to go to a break, and we'll be back. We'll talk about that, and then we're going to talk about what's coming up and what's new. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes. We are back, and we have a lot of exciting information to get out, and we've only got about 8 minutes to do it. So we were talking about there's facility on the mountain, and it comes to that facility and then goes down into the city, right?
We pick up the signal from Los Angeles, we change the channel it's on, and rebroadcast it on a different channel.
So
That's why
channel
it's called
7
the
or
translator.
whatever doesn't come on to channel 7 on a TV here.
No, but of course, with a digital television, it's kind of like a cable box in the sense that it knows what the station is calling itself if it isn't actually using that channel anymore.
Okay.
So
I see.
it'll display channel 7, as they say, 7.1 on your TV screen, even though we're putting it out on channel
70
something,
or something,
whatever.
or 60. Okay.
We also,
29, I don't know.
We also,
I forget.
in my way of viewing, have a wealth of PBS channels. We
okay.
have an East Coast PBS direct channel. We have the World Channel.
PBS World, yes.
Those two are
we have
very big PBS channels, and those are national channels. We have KLCS, Los Angeles County Schools System.
Really?
City School.
Okay.
City schools. So they have the Create channel, and periodically they have their Board of Supervisors meeting and their school board meetings. We also broadcast KCET, which is no longer a PBS channel, but is a small P public broadcasting channel. Still lots of good programming on there.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Those are, we also bring all the Los Angeles local channels, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13.
Okay, but who's remembering?
Yes,
Yeah.
but who's recounting those? There is so much good stuff that's on there that it's always
There's always something out there
easy
to
to
watch.
find something that's worthwhile spending your time to watch.
And you are
Correct.
the technical expert, I guess, sort of running Ramrod what
Well,
happens
I
on
don't
the
hold
mountain.
a soldering iron.
Oh, you don't?
And
Okay.
I'm not an antenna expert, but we do
But
have
other
a
than
guy
that,
who is.
Oh,
yeah.
good. Or if anybody else wants to come out and help, they'd probably love to have you.
That is true. That is
Okay.
true.
But something new coming up more than what we've got now, or?
Well, the television world seems to keep shifting underneath our feet.
Just when you get everything set up, then they,
You know, they
Or-
told us they told us digital was coming. They told us they were taking away channels
This is
52 through 69, and they have done that.
This is FCC giving us news that we need to use so that we can be agile to continue to serve through TV Booster.
so that you just don't become outdated.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Well,
So-
we'll be losing some more channels, and
Really?
they're currently going through, the FCC is going through a rather complicated set of auctions because they want to sell those public airwaves to private concerns
Darn it.
for
Darn
use
it,
with
yeah.
more cell phones and stuff like that.
That's correct.
This TV station comes over, Booster.
Correct.
Does it?
Yeah,
Yes.
we provide the mountaintop, and you send
Wonderful.
you beam your signal up to us, and we
shower it
blanket
down.
the body of the valley with it.
All right.
Like we
that's
do
great.
with the LA stations.
That's
and
correct.
of course the city has a station too, from City Hall.
For Planning Commission and City Council meetings and
What about
such.
county? Do you get county
I
stuff?
understand your station is now a carrier of county supervisor meetings
Yes. I
from
think-
Bakersfield.
yes, yes.
That's terrific.
And that's new.
So that's new, but you can get it over their airways and see our station.
That's correct.
And see Bakersfield too.
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
isn't it tremendous? And there's no lay out the cash monthly basis?
Well,
we ask you to
no.
give them a donation.
Correct.
But
Two things
We
we
have power
ask.
bills, phone bills.
Equipment, maintenance,
Parts, yeah.
We
always.
have to pay the county some property tax on the equipment we have on the mountaintop.
oh, now that's one I hadn't thought about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they need donations, but you don't have
And
a
then-
set bill.
That's correct.
That
And
you
when
do,
the FCC
yeah.
makes us move some of our channels, our broadcasting channels, we're going to have to modify or buy new equipment.
Right, right.
Okay.
So
And
two
that's
things.
descending on our head in the next few years.
Two things we
You can
ask
see it coming.
of our viewing public. Number one is watch our channels.
Sure.
Watch our channels. You will be so surprised at the breadth and the quality of what we're bringing to the community. So please watch our channels. If you move into an apartment or a house where there's this thing on the roof and you're not sure what it is, it's probably an antenna and it could still be working.
And you could hook up to your TV stations.
Correct. If you're
Wow.
coming off satellite, it could be an easy workup for you to go from your previous satellite installation to TV Booster. And when you see us at one of the public venues where we give information, we'd be happy to tell you how to do that. You can also buy an antenna, install it fresh. We'll give you some guidelines on that.
How do
But
they get in touch with you?
We have a website, IWVTV Booster.
And you do that.
.org.
You do the website?
Actually, that's another gal, Jean Schneider,
Okay,
who's on the
Correct.
board.
so
we-
you work on it.
We have a
then.
web
So
mistress.
she's a web
Okay.
We
mistress.
try to keep information up there as accurate as we can. We do have a phone number that's published.
What is
which-
that? Can you
It's
give
my
that?
home phone, actually.
Do you mind giving it out?
Not at all.
Okay, it is.
It's on the pamphlet, too.
Of course, it's 760, I
760
suspect.
377 5192.
377-5192 if you want any information from these folks.
Or go to the website.
And, say
we have
that
an
again.
address.
What
You
is the address for your
it's,
website?
It's the, oh, well, we have a postal address.
Oh, you have
P.O.
a post.
Box
Give me that one.
562, RIdgecrest 93556. All post office boxes
562,
have a
is
6
it?
on the end of the
P.O.
zip.
Box
Right,
562-93556.
So-
Should
I've asked that
anyone
before, too.
Home
choose-
boxes have a 555
Right.
at the end.
Okay, and the web page is what again?
IWVTV Booster.
.com or
.org.
.org.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we're a nonprofit, so
And if they
we're
got to
entitled
that, they
use
could get to
.org.
your other numbers. They'd probably have your address and your phone number.
That's
Yes,
correct.
On that
correct,
too. So
yes.
that's probably the easiest way to get
And at
to them.
any time, should you see any one of us with
With
our
a little
famous shirts
bird?
on, please
Yes.
feel free to stop. There is
Stop.
no question that we've not already been asked.
So don't be afraid to ask them.
Don't be afraid to ask.
That's
happy
right.
to talk
The only
to
dumb
you.
questions are the ones that aren't asked.
There
That's
you
right.
go. I used to
We're-
have a professor told me that. You a professor?
We're happy to serve. This is our community service, and it is a joy and a pleasure, not only for our own viewing, but also for the benefit of the people in the valley. And all of you newbies out there who think that you don't have a way to receive television that you can afford,
This is
now
it.
you know better.
Now you do. And they'd be more than happy to talk with you at any time. I really appreciate it. We probably need to do this again because there's so much information out
There
there.
is.
But we'll plan out maybe a couple months and we'll have you back.
Super.
Would that be okay?
Super.
Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate
you,
it.
Lois.
And everybody out there, think about these folks. You don't have to do cable if you don't want to.
We're on the air. Use us.
There
Yes.
you go. That's it. Use it. Okay. Thank you.